These are the unwritten rules of living in Venice, Florida. Let's get started. So the first one is beach. If you want to go to the beach, especially during the winter months or spring break, make sure you get there early. And the reason for that is pretty obvious. I think there's a lot of people that are going to be going to the beach, especially in the spring break and winter months, but spring break for sure. Get there early if you want to get yourself a parking spot and or know about some of the more secret parking spots and or beaches that you could go to that are a little quieter, or you know, some of the bigger beaches have some parking lots that a lot of people don't know about. We're not going to say what those are in this YouTube video because then everyone's going to know about them, but if you are looking to buy or sell a home in the area, we can definitely help you, and we can also give you some information about some of those spots. 941-221-1897. We've helped a lot of people both buy and sell homes that are looking to get out of the area, and people that want to move to paradise. We've helped them too. So get a hold of us and we can help you with that and some beach parking. But the next thing you need to know, ice cream. So the locals know we do ice cream really, really well. Maybe if you've ever even been here on vacation, you might know that. But there's some ones that you might want to consider that maybe you don't know about. So in my humble opinion, I think the two heavyweights of the area are this. Number one, Venice Avenue Creamery right in the downtown. Now I think that's the one a lot of people will know. There's a couple ice cream shops outside of that in the downtown as well, and some gelato and things like that. All really great. Not trying to knock any of them and say they're not worth it. You can't go wrong with any of them, don't get me wrong, but I think Venice Avenue Creamery is the one that a lot of people would know about and have seen, and it's got a lot of good flavor options. But to me, the best one, this is just me, is not on the island, and it's Scoops. The selection is insane of just the ice cream. They have some alcoholic ice cream, they have some non-dairy ice cream, and then they just have all these other frozen treats that are just super unique, like chocolate covered key lime pie, and I think there's rotating things that they have and then don't have, so I don't want to say too much about what they do and don't have because of that. It might be different by the time this video comes out, but just so much cool stuff there. Lots to pick from. You can't go wrong checking that place out. Next unwritten rule is, yeah, we got snakes. Look at this, it's a black racer. Catching this right on camera for you. And let me tell you, it's called a black racer because these things can go fast. Sorry if I freaked anyone out, but that's part of living in Venice. There are snakes and wildlife and things like that. Before I get to that, just to finish up the last point, the unwritten rule is you gotta get some ice cream when you're in Venice. You just gotta do it. If you live here, you should probably make a point of doing that at least once every couple weeks. I know it's not the healthiest thing, but come on, it's warm, it's sunny. You gotta cool off a little bit. So back to the wildlife. The next unwritten rule is we are a very wildlife focused area. There's a lot of conservation. You can see I'm on a trail here. This is actually, I'm in Inglewood right now. This is Lemon Bay Park and Nature Preserve. This actually extends all the way to South Venice. It's huge. And we've got a lot of other parks like this as well, such as Pinebrook Park. We've got Shamrock Park, and a lot of these have trails and things like that, and there's a lot of wildlife. But even not at the parks, there's a lot of wildlife. We're also a bird sanctuary city, so there's a lot of tropical birds and scrub jays, and we have gopher tortoises and armadillos and just all kinds of stuff that maybe you wouldn't know that we would have, and just would maybe be completely different from where you're coming from if you're not from Florida. So that side of things, if you want nature, we do it really well. You got to respect the nature. It's kind of part of living here. And then obviously all the ocean stuff that comes along with that as well. So we've got dolphins, we've got manatees, we've got sharks. You know, there's not a lot of them though. We do have a lot of sharks' teeth though, which is another thing we'll get to in a second. But definitely nature is one of the things that's part of living here. Alligators as well. You know, that was the other thing I was going to mention. I almost forgot. A lot of communities are going to have retention ponds if you live in a planned community. And those retention ponds are going to have a lot of wildlife. A lot of times they'll have gators. You don't have to worry about them. They usually stick to the water. Obviously don't approach them if you see them. A lot of times they'll sun themselves out when it's a little bit cooler if you see them on a bank. But outside of that, you don't really have to worry about that. They'll stick to the water. And then on top of that, all the birds and things like that you'll often see by those retention ponds is really, really cool. So next unwritten rule, you gotta get yourself some shark's teeth. I mean, we're known, if you didn't know this, you will now, we're known as the shark's tooth capital of the world. And that's because you can find lots of prehistoric shark's teeth, which I mentioned a little bit before. It's pretty easy if you spend a little, I'd say 15-20 minutes to find a shark tooth about this size. It is possible though to find one about this size. And we've had clients that have bought homes in the area that have found them that big. And most likely it was a megalodon shark tooth. So we're talking a prehistoric, great white shark, basically. It's way bigger than a great white though. So pretty wild. You can definitely find them on our beaches. Also a lot of seashells. So that's a very, very big part of the culture here as well. We have an entire shark tooth festival. There's shops in the downtown that are dedicated to shark's teeth, or I shouldn't say dedicated, but there is a very large part of those shops. So even jewelry stores in the downtown. There's jewelry stores that are like just jewelry. And then there's like a little section in the store that's got like gold-plated shark's teeth and things like that. So definitely kind of a unique part of Venice, and something that you should definitely do. You kind of have to do it at least once if you're gonna visit the area, and definitely if you're gonna move to the area. At some point, you better go looking for some shark's teeth and find at least one. You gotta do it. Next unwritten rule, avoid Tamiami and Jacaranda. I would say that would be the big two, especially I would say from like 2 o'clock-ish to around like 6 o'clock-ish. 2:30 to 5 is probably the worst of it, but it lingers for a while. And a lot of that is because school, especially during the school year, school gets out at 2:15, which that was a shock from when we moved, because we're originally from the Midwest area. Like our school got out at 3:30 and they got out at 2:15 here. So there's a traffic rush that starts a lot earlier than you would expect, especially on Tamiami Trail and also Venice Island, right around, I would say 2 o'clock to about 3:34, you know, while that school traffic dissipates. After that, it clears out on the island a little bit more, but Tamiami definitely, I would say from about 2 o'clock all the way till about 5:30, 6 o'clock. It's gonna be pretty busy. If you can avoid it, definitely do so, as well as Jacaranda. That's kind of one of the more main roads a lot of people are gonna take to get over to 75 if they gotta take 75. And then the same goes for 75 as well. Now that traffic recommendation is more generally, we're talking about being during the winter months and spring break, because that's when more people are here. Summer months, and especially like, well, so first of all, school is out, so there's less traffic because of that, but also there's less snowbirds and things like that. You don't got anything to worry about pretty much any time of day. It might get a little busy around those same times, but it's not quite so nuts because you don't have a lot of people here on vacation, you don't have the school traffic, and you don't have a lot of like snowbirds that are just down here for the winter months and things like that, adding to the traffic to the roads. But that would be my recommendation. And then outside of that, I would say in the mornings it gets pretty busy in a lot of those same areas, and that lasts from about 7-ish, 7:30 to about 9:30-ish or so, and then things kind of start to dissipate a little bit more. Next unwritten rule, but maybe more of a secret, would be that not all the best food is on the island. Now, don't get me wrong, Venice Island's got a lot of great spots. One of our favorites in Venice is Suncoast Cafe, which is like right in the little airport. That's a little off the more beaten path, so that's kind of a little secret gem for you. Oh, here's some more wildlife for you real quick. A caterpillar. Been seeing a lot of them out today. But yeah, you got sharkies on the pier and the tiki hut feel going on there, and then great food there. You've got all kinds of stuff. You got made in Italy, like all the stuff on Venice Island. Don't get me wrong, it's great. Côte France, we love that place as well. Really great French place, probably also one of our favorite places. But off the island, there's some really good places as well, such as like Plaza Mexico. We really, really like them for Mexican food. If you go just up a little bit outside of Venice, Cafe Evergreen, we're not vegan, but we'd like to try different stuff, and they have some great vegan food, like really, really good stuff. Even if you're not vegan, recommend trying it just to give it a shot. And then outside of that though, even getting outside of Venice, there's some really, in fact, Inglewood's got some of our favorite places such as Thai To Go, Texas Best Barbecue, Mango Bistro. Like honestly, those are probably some of our favorite restaurants in all the area. So definitely maybe think about venturing outside of Venice Island for sure, but also just outside of Venice, period. And I think you might find some really good hidden gems for restaurants. Oh, also had a shout out off of Venice Island, one other place that we really like for Chicago style pizza, Joey D's. Love their pizza. And actually probably outside of what we actually had while being in Chicago is probably our favorite Chicago style pizza we've had anywhere else. So there you go, there's a recommendation for that. Next unwritten rule, if you're going to live in Venice, is this, what you're seeing right here, the clothes. Keep things a little bit more relaxed. That's kind of a Florida thing in general, but definitely like in a beach city like Venice, come on, man. Feel the breeze coming through, palm trees, beach, like you're here to relax, number one. Number two, it's hot. It gets hot. You know, the summer months definitely get hot. The winter, maybe not crazy, but still, like it's kind of part of the culture. So like when you go out to eat and things like that, like it's not uncommon to see people wearing t-shirts, wearing tropical shirts, wearing flip-flops at a nice place. It's just kind of the vibe, you know what I mean? Like it's hot, you don't want to be sweating, so you wear something, number one, that's comfortable, but number two, like you're here to live that lifestyle. Go ahead, do it up. You don't have to get all super fancy and wear pants and sweat your butt off while you're trying to eat. Why would you do it? So that's part of the attire, kind of part of the culture here. It's a-okay. You don't have to worry about it. The standard rules don't apply because you're on beach time when you're here. Next unwritten rule, you gotta go to the downtown, not just for the downtown experience, but for some of the different events. One of the main ones would be the farmer's market. Every Saturday, check it out, recommend it. It's pretty big, not massive, but quite a bit to pick from. And it's just a vibe because there's a lot of live music, lots of dogs out, lots of people to mingle with and meet. And there's just, you know, it's a good way to bump into people. And being in Venice, like, you're gonna meet people from all over the United States, if not the world. So it's just kind of cool to kind of get to know people from outside of the area. But on top of that, there's lots of other events that you'll see that they have, such as the Shark Tooth Festival, which I mentioned before. They have little art festivals and things like that. There's just always something going down in the downtown. They got something called laughter yoga. So there's just lots of little different events and things like that to get involved in and just go do something different for the day. So you can kind of, you know, go to some of the same places that would maybe know of and have a totally different experience in those places. So you know, you might be like, well, I've been to the downtown a million times. Why would I want to keep going there, you know, after you've lived here for a while? Because of the different events. It makes it a different thing. It gives you different stuff to do in the area. So that's definitely one thing you got to take advantage of if you're looking to move to the area. Or even if you're just coming for vacation, why not get it in while you're here? Because there's certain unique things you're just not going to get anywhere else. Next thing you got to know, I wouldn't say this is an unwritten rule, but maybe something you didn't know. You can go on the fishing pier even if you're not gonna fish. And if you wanna fish, you don't even need a fishing license. You can just go on the pier to look and see what kind of fish might be there. Occasionally you'll see people fishing and catch sharks. We've seen a few people catch sharks, not big ones, like maybe about the size of a cat or so, but yeah, it's definitely a possibility. And it's just a nice place to go hang out for a little while and catch the breeze, maybe go to Sharky's and get your bite to eat there as well. And then on top of that, if you want to fish, you could do that. You don't need a fishing license and you don't even need to bring anything because there's rental stuff right there that you can rent, like the fishing lures and the fishing pole and all that stuff right on the pier. So there you go, just show up and have a good time. You don't need to come super prepared. You don't need to file any paperwork, or you don't have to necessarily even be fishing to go on the fishing pier. The next unwritten rule is be on the lookout for golf carts and maybe consider getting one. Golf carts are definitely a thing in Venice, whether we're talking the island, within certain gated communities, but you gotta also know if you're gonna have a golf cart, they're not allowed everywhere. So just keep that in mind, but also keep in mind if you're driving in certain areas that you gotta look out for the golf carts. And then the other big thing with that is if you can afford it and you want it, get the golf cart, worth it. Just for the breeze in the air, you're in Florida, it's kind of a Florida thing to do, and that's a Florida thing to do for a reason, because it's awesome. Like, a lot of people like being able to have a little bit more of a breezy ride, you know, for quicker drives and whatnot. And if you're living on Venice Island, you could even use that to maybe get like groceries and stuff like that to take it to the Publix. So definitely a possibility for you if you're living in the right location to be able to take your golf cart to a lot of different things. So golf carts are awesome. Take advantage of it, but look out for them. And also, if you're gonna be driving one, just make sure you know where you can and cannot be driving them. But again, if you're looking to buy or sell a home in the Venice area, we've helped a lot of people. We'd love to help you too. We can kind of help answer some of these weird, quirky questions that you might have about the home buying process, homes, neighborhoods, Venice culture in general, things to do. And yeah, we love talking to people. So get a hold of us, 941-221-1897. We'd love to help you make that move. Or if you're done with Venice, or for whatever reason you need to get out and you're looking to sell your home, let us know too. We can definitely help you out. We can help you shortcut the process with selling and or buying, make it easier, less stressful. Sometimes you try to do things on your own and it takes way longer than you think it's gonna take because there's all these questions you can't find answers to. And we know all the stuff you need to know. So get a hold of us. We'd love to help you out. If you want to know more about what it's like to live in Venice in a YouTube video though, check out this one right here. We think you're gonna like that one. Thanks for watching and live breezy.